Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today, Jake Hoffer. He's from the Degenerates. He's also a sound guy. He's helping us out at Dr. Lucky's. Jake, why don't you say hi?
How you doing, Bubba?
I'm well, man. I'm glad to have you on the show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is cool. Well, you're in the room that you're going to be doing a lot of work in over the summer months, I have a feeling. Why don't you tell everybody about the room here at Dr. Lucky's?
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a very kind of concert hall-y. I don't know how to explain it.
It's not like anything else in South Dakota, is it?
Yeah, not very many places. The only other place I could like really compare it to is kind of the Remedy down in Sioux Falls. It's got a kind of similar kind of feeling to it.
Right, yeah. I don't know if you'd call it, it's not quite steampunk really, but it's definitely like back warehousey. It's
got a very kind of punky, rocky vibe to it.
I like
it's cool.
it, man.
I like it.
Yeah, dude, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this place was just like, man, we got to have this thing needs bodies in it.
Yeah.
They need to be sweaty, and this place should be a rock club. So we've been working on it, man. Well, so we know you run sound. You've been helping us here, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the band?
Oh boy, the band, the good old Degenerates. We technically started in 2022, sort of, but didn't have a name quite yet. More or less had the lineup we were going to play with. It was me, a guitar player, and a bass player. Didn't find our full-time drummer till 2023, and then we started playing a lot more shows the summer of 2023. Sorry, I need me a drink. My throat is quite dry. But we started playing more shows summer of 2023. We're getting up to Aberdeen, a couple places in Sioux Falls. Did some shows in Madison. Mostly playing originals, a couple covers here and there. And things are going pretty good. We're starting to get a nice little following. Got to play with some cool bands. Played with like Full Force Face First and Lilac Jam. And we got to play with this ska punk band, Keep Flying, that's based out of... they're somewhere in the East Coast. I can't remember exactly where it's from, but that was super cool. And things are going really good. Come the tail end of 2023, some things happen. Had to swap out some members, unfortunately. Still have my drummer, thank God. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. But now I've got some people helping me out, filling in some roles. I got McKenna and Tyler from Introverse. She used to sing, and he used to play drums for Introverse. That was their band. They heard that I needed some help, offered to help out. She was starting to learn bass. She said, I can play bass for you. And he was like, I can play guitar too. Tyler can play everything. Dude is amazingly talented. And so they hopped on, and we've been getting some practices, writing some new material. It's been a lot of exciting stuff.
Awesome.
And now we're really just looking for shows.
Right.
Like
You're evolving.
Yeah, yeah. We've got Four Winds coming up here pretty soon, which I didn't even know if we were going to get on that or not, because that was signed up for that in the middle of the band falling apart.
Right.
Got lucky enough to get on that, so I'm stoked to be playing that. I saw it last year, and
that's awesome.
I told myself, I told my mom, everybody, I'm like, I am playing this show.
That's great.
The next year it comes, I'm going to be on it.
That's great,
and
man.
now we're here, so I'm excited for it. We've got the street dance coming up with you here at... Is it in Dr. Lucky's, or is it?
It'll be outside,
yeah,
right on 2nd Street there.
That's what
we're going to shut it down and have a stage out there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
That's what I thought. So we've got that coming up, and then we've got a charity show, the 11th, actually, May 11th, at Biggs for the Compass Center, which pretty excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's
for a good cause, and we get to get out there and play our music, and hopefully put on a good show for people, let them have a good time.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you're getting back out there when it seems like, things kind of got dark as you're moving into the winter months. Right. And you're like, oh, boy. Right. And I know that we've kind of, we're pretty recent friends, and I've seen you. And something I was really impressed with was that you were going out of your way to seek out artists to make a kind of all South Dakota playlist on Spotify. And that's kind of how I got in. We'll speak about what, just the passion to say, hey, I'm going to take my time to find these other artists and do that. Like, where does that come from for you, Jake?
Just like going to school for sound design, I wanted to always be in like the music industry in some degree. And the more I kind of got involved in it, like playing with my band, like playing shows and meeting other bands and like getting the opportunity. I got tongue tied for a second there. Getting the opportunity to, just like run sound for some other bands and meet them and stuff, I was like, there's a lot of talent in the state that I didn't necessarily know of because I grew up small town West River, like no really music scene around at all. So then I get out to kind of the more city east side and I started finding all this talent. I'm like, there's a lot of talent in this state. Like it needs to be showcased. And so I had some bands that I'd worked with and knew about, and I was like, I can throw these guys on a playlist, and I can throw my band on a playlist, and then I'm sure they know other people in the state, like they can tell me other bands. So I made a little Facebook post. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for as many local artists as you can find. I just want to put all of them in this big playlist that we can show off with everyone and share around, and just, you know, get more ears on each other, because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
Just
hey, that's how I ended up with
out.
That's how I ended up with a podcast, Jake.
Yeah.
That post ended up getting quite a bit of traction. Did that kind of surprise you a little bit?
That was one of the most interacted with posts I've ever made in my life. Like,
it's amazing how when you go and seek to do for others, how things come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And that's really what it was about. It wasn't necessarily like about me and being like, oh, look at this thing I'm doing for me. It's like, I just want to do something cool for everyone and kind of contribute to help grow in the scene, the music scene and whatnot. Yeah. And so I'm glad it kind of worked out.
And you're doing it now. Yeah. I mean, look at, 6 months ago, I guarantee you didn't envision yourself with a microphone in your face in this room that you've never been to. And right. I didn't have a podcast a month ago even, right? This is all new. I didn't set out to do this. We just kind of fell into it, and we just keep falling forward and falling upwards.
Right.
And, tonight we're going to play a show, 4 guys getting together that have never played a show together. Some of us meeting, in person for the first time. And we're going to have a blast tonight, man.
Yeah,
and this
absolutely.
is how music is. And it's not undifferent than how it was before. But, especially with the advent of the internet and how it's so easy to network now.
Right.
These moments are almost kind of easy, right?
Yeah.
For guys that are in the know like we are, we know a lot of people.
Well, and it should be kind of easy in a certain degree. Like, I don't know. I know that the music scene can get kind of clicky sometimes, and I'm kind of here trying to smash any clicks down with a hammer and just be like, dude, let's just get together, have some fun. We're not going to be alive for that long. Like, let's sing, dance, enjoy the ride while we're on it. Like,
let me tell you, man, I was at the Midwest Country Music Organization Awards in Okoboji, and I saw the next couple of decades of my life laid out for me, doing exactly what I'm doing right now, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm good with that. We don't need Nashville. We don't need all those things. We have our own awards show. We have all that stuff, and that's the reason I talk about the organization show so much. Is it kind of gives you momentum. Yeah, these awards don't really mean anything. They mean something on a resume, and they also mean something because they're voted on by your peers. You're not winning. You're getting recognized by your peers as being, hey man, great job, and we want to recognize you as a group. We want to recognize you as the song of the year or the entertainer. Like, kudos to you. So yeah, a really cool thing that they're growing here. I think it's going to lead to a lot more of us growing, maybe some South Dakota stuff that's just like that, right?
Yeah.
And just continue growing at what we're doing. And
absolutely. I'm excited to see how the state can continue to grow.
Fuck, this summer's going to be wild.
Yeah.
That's what summer's going to be wild.
Absolutely.
Well, Jake, thanks so much for joining the scene, and let's rock it out tonight.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for listening. Remember to go to patreon.com/thescenesd. Follow us on all your social media channels and make yourself part of The Scene.